A lot of people got hurt, a lot of people got killed, American lives got lost because someone wants to make money and wants to have a fat check in his pocket.
Here you have the MPs who engaged and participated in horrific conduct are being held accountable for their actions. Why aren't the U.S. contractors, the civilian corporate personnel, why aren't they being held accountable for their actions?
If you are a U.S. soldier and you hurt an Iraqi civilian and that becomes known, you will be court-martialed. But if you are a U.S. contractor and you kill an Iraqi civilian and that becomes known, you will be sent home. And then you can come back the following week and you can work for a different contractor.
So here we have the two ringleaders of abuse at Abu Ghraib very explicitly saying, in many cases, what was happening was they were being ordered to abuse these detainees by civilian contractors. These guys are in prison for 18 years total between the two of them, and there's no contractors in prison.
My question is in regards to private military contractors. The Uniform Code of Military Justice does not apply to these contractors in Iraq. I asked your Secretary of Defense a couple months ago what law governs their actions.
I was going to ask him. Go ahead. Help. I'll pick up the phone and say, Mr. Secretary, I got an interesting question. This is what delegation, I don't mean to be dodging the question, although it's kind of convenient in this case, but I really will. I'm going to call the Secretary and say, you brought up a very valid question, and what are we doing about it? That's how I work. Thanks. Yes, ma'am.
Are any of these allegations being investigated?
My recollection is, and I think it's okay to say this, is that the investigations are ongoing, and that time will tell.
Somehow these contractors have leveraged power in Washington, and the government feels like they want to protect these people. They want to protect the security of these contracts, and they want to protect them from prosecution.
Most of the managers and most of the people we dealt with working for Titan were ex-military officers, high-ranking officers.
All major military contractors have a board of directors and a senior management that is composed of senior retired military personnel. And this allows them to be able to go get contracts.
Washington is a phenomenally incestuous place. Retired senior officers, Capitol Hill staffers, and defense industry. You know, the usual suspects come back again and again.
Top recipients of money from Halliburton, Titan, Cockey, and Blackwater are the two chairmen of the committees in Congress and the House of Representatives that oversee military matters and spending.
The major corporations, these cartel and monopoly corporations, they've figured out how to legally buy influence.
I would echo the words of Pope John Paul II. Profit by itself is not a sufficient motivation for business endeavors. You're operating in the realm of greed. You're not operating in the realm of morality. I went to Iraq and came back. What was so heartbreaking was that I found that we weren't. that we weren't always the good guys, and it was very disillusioning for me. Because I'd grown up with this dream of America, what America was. And when I saw that dream at Abu Ghraib and what it had become, I felt heartbroken. I felt like I didn't know what it was to be an American, because I saw what I had thought America was destroyed and disgraced.
When they went into Iraq, a subsidiary of Halliburton, which is KBR, Kellogg Brown Root, was on the scene immediately. They were logistics people, they were mechanics, and they were also contracted to begin the process of setting up shower points, laundry facilities, mess halls, dining facilities, really searching for any opportunity to take on what would be traditionally military roles.
When you use these contractors, you gain a lot of efficiencies, you gain a lot of expertise and specialization.
It was devastating because it took over my job. I ended up doing nothing. We had to train these KBR contractors how to fix these radios. We had to walk them through all the basic steps. But when I could be actively becoming a better soldier and becoming more proficient in my job, instead I'm going to sit up on guard duty to wait around while KBR contractors are doing the job that I had to train them to do. Across the board, people lost their jobs. Quartermaster companies, mechanics, any logistics soldiers were involved with, their jobs were outsourced to KBR.
If you don't know KBR, you have never been to Iraq. Because KBR is everywhere in Iraq.
You have hundreds, if not thousands, of these trucks driving north and south on these roads every day, bringing supplies to other military bases. Most of the people who were driving for Kellogg Brown and Root were foreign workers. They were from Pakistan and Nepal, India. Sometimes there would be Americans driving the trucks, U.S. civilians.
I heard about the job through another truck driver friend in Collectible, California. We were sitting there waiting for a load, and he told me this was his last load and he was going overseas. From there, I sent my resume in. I thought I was really going to be doing a lot of reconstruction in Iraq, as far as, I'd like to see me hauling fuel maybe to a place that had loaders and dozers, We never went to go be in a battle or fight a fight. We went to take care of our families and make money to reconstruct Iraq.
Tony and I met in '79 at a Halloween party. It was kind of a blind meeting, and we're married less than a year later. His brother was in the Navy, and so he always wished that he had done something like that. But he was just a good old boy. He thought it was such a great cause to go and help rebuild, and got a job with Halliburton, and he was going to go drive a truck in Iraq. Within a month, he was there.
I was 15 when I went to first time. A good friend of ours introduced us at a fair they had, and we set it off.